Today, we are spicing things up and delving into the archives, ranking the top 10 goal scorers of all time in the Champions League. Who will make the cut, and who's etching their names into the annals of football history. Stick around because it's about to get legendary. We are Redbeard and Targo. Join us as we kick off match day excitement and delve into the illustrious history of the Champions League. Welcome, football aficionados, to another episode of Brews and Banter FC, where we blend the love of the beautiful game with the art of brewing perfect conversation.
Let the games begin.
So we want to take a little trip down memory lane because Champions League is where the greats become greats and the unknowns become a household name. So we want to take the top 10 players of all time, as in top 10 goal scorers of all time for the Champions League, and rank them what we think as far as contributions and play in the Champions League, where they deserve to actually be ranked. So for the top 10, we have number 1, Cristiano Ronaldo, arguably the greatest player in Champions League history. Number 2, Messi, right behind him. You got Lewandowski, number 3, Karim Benzema, number 4, Raul, number 5, Ruud van Nistelrooy, number 6, number 7, Thomas Müller, 34
That
years
one was
old.
surprising to me, yeah.
Yeah. Thierry Henry, number 8, Alfredo Di Stefano, number 9, and Zlatan Ibrahimovic and Andrei Shevchenko at number 10.
They're tied, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So just go ahead and give me your top 10, man. How would you rank those players 1 through 10?
All right, 1 through 10. Well, I'm going to tell you the one player I left out first. And we're going to start with a bit of controversy, but you already knew this about me. I didn't put Ruud van Nistelrooy in my list because he's a tap-in merchant. Tap-in merchant. Never rated him as a all-around striker. Great positioning. Not a great final ball. And I think it was like 85 to 90% of his goals were scored in and around, like, closer to the goal than the penalty spot.
6-yard box, 18-yard box, yeah. But he is the 5th highest goal scorer, and you don't have him on the list at all, huh? So he's the one you left out.
And, he's up towards the top of Premier League goal scorers of all time as well. He was a great finisher, but his all-around game was shit. Played on great teams.
Well, I'll tell you why you're wrong when I get to him, because he is in my top 10.
I know. That's why I said I'll start with a bit of drama. Number 10. The man, the myth, the legend himself, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. 124 appearances, 48 goals, 29 assists, no Champions Leagues. Which is why he's number 10. Great player. Fantastic attitude and ego. Probably one of my favorite players to ever watch in a press conference. Doesn't translate to winning trophies, unfortunately.
Or an interview, yeah.
Yeah. Number 9, Andrei Shevchenko. I loved him as a player, not for Chelsea, but for AC Milan. 100 appearances in the Champions League, 48 goals, 16 assists, 1 Champions League title. And I couldn't find how many finals he had played in. I think it's 2 or 3. I know he played in 2 for AC Milan, and I'm not sure if he played in 2, yeah. Chelsea. Yeah. Great player, probably the greatest Ukrainian player of all time. That we can agree on.
Yeah,
because no one's really even close at this point. Number 8, and I really wanted to put him higher just to spite you, Thomas Müller. The man is one of the best playmakers on this list. I didn't say he's the best. He's one of. 151 appearances, 53 goals, and 34 assists, as well as 2 Champions Leagues. And I believe 3 finals appearances, because I believe he lost one to Real Madrid. But the man, he knows how to play a ball, and I feel like out of this entire list, is easily the most underrated player on this entire list. The guy's still doing it at 34.
He's Who are you talking about? Thomas Müller still?
Yeah.
Get that garbage. Move on to your next player.
Number 7, Raul. Next most underrated player on this list, which is why he's ahead of Thomas Müller.
That's what I thought you were talking about. Yes.
Yeah. 142 appearances, 71 goals, 32 assists. Won 3 Champions Leagues. Yeah. Over 100 goal contributions in 142 games. Pretty damn good. Number 6, I really struggled with these next 3. I'm not going to lie. I really did. Number 6 is Thierry Henry. And I want to show my bias and put him much higher because as a player, he is one of the greatest of all time. But in the Champions League, his stats don't quite agree with me. Went to 2 finals, should arguably have 2 Champions League titles, but he's only got 1. 112 games, 50 goals, 22 assists. The king himself. I had a really hard time putting him there, but the stats and the trophies say otherwise for everybody above him. So I had to think with my brain and not my heart. Number 5, and this is where I'm going to get a lot of stick from you. Robert Lewandowski. Played in 2 Champions League finals, only won 1 of them, as he famously lost with Borussia Dortmund against Thomas Müller's Bayern Munich. 114 appearances, 92 goals, 26 assists. It's amazing. I love him as a player. He's getting up there in age and kind of showing it now, but in his prime, unstoppable as a striker. One of the best all time.
Why do you have him down there then? Is it because of the amount of times he's won the Champions League?
Yeah.
So then shouldn't Raul be higher?
Probably. But again, my heart has to speak at some point. Okay?
Okay.
I love watching Lewandowski, and King Henry will never be below Raul in players, I think, skill-wise. Greatest of all time. Number 4, Karim Benzema. Now, I've never really been a huge fan of his, but he does have 5 Champions Leagues. And 120 goal contributions and 152 appearances.
Not
Pretty darn good. It's more than Robert Lewandowski, and it might be in 40 more appearances, but still. He's got 5 Champions Leagues. I couldn't rate him any lower. Next, Alfredo Di Stefano, which his stats are unreal.
So go ahead and go through your 3, 2, 1 here quick, because they're the same. Ours are the same.
All right. Alfredo Di Stefano, number 3, Lionel Messi, number 2, and Cristiano Ronaldo, as much as it hurts my soul or lack thereof to say it, greatest Champions League player of all time because of trophies. So,
and goals.
You go through your top 10 through 4, and then we'll get into the.
We'll get into the. Yeah. Okay. So my number 10 is Andrei Shevchenko. He's your number 9. He's my number 10. Like you mentioned, 48 goals, 100 appearances. He was the top scorer once in the competition. He won the competition once. My number 9, though, I couldn't put Zlatan below Andrei Shevchenko, man. Just the skill that Zlatan has, some of the goals he scored out of nothing, just fantastic, the spectacular. That's why I had to put him at number 9, Zlatan, because they both have the same amount of goals. I will say Shevchenko did it in less appearances, so I got to give him kudos for that.
Champions League trophy. That is what it was for me. That was a tiebreaker.
My number 8 is Ruud van Nistelrooy. I did put him on my list. The guy scored 56 goals and 73 appearances, man. He was a top scorer 3 times in the competition. 3 times.
Yeah.
He scored 12 goals.
At the team, that's like saying, Erling Haaland was top scorer with a bunch of tap-ins and penalty kicks.
He still puts it away, man. He knew where to be into that box, and he was a lethal finisher inside that box. You can't deny that. But I will say, here's a fun fact. He has the highest. He's the highest scoring player to have never won the Champions League. He never won it.
Yep, they won it before him and after him.
Yep. My number 7 is Thierry Henry. He's your number 6, so I moved him down just one. He has 50 goals and 112 appearances, so he has a goal ratio of 0.45, not bad. He's got the one trophy. He was the top scorer 3 times, with 12 being the most. So, fantastic for Henry. My number 6, again, I don't rate this player the highest either, man. Karim Benzema.
I don't know why either. I think it's just because his style of play annoys me.
It might be his style of play, but the guy's got 90 goals, 152 appearances, top scorer in the competition once, where he scored 15 goals in the competition, and he's won it 5 times.
Yeah, I mean the man, his track record and his stats say it for himself. Like he's got a Ballon d'Or as well. Like he doesn't have to actually like sit there and listen to us say, "Well, I don't like you as a player." He's like, "Shut up! I got a Ballon d'Or and 5 Champions."
Let me count my 5 Champions Leagues and
whatever.
But yeah, so I had to put a different Real Madrid striker ahead of him, Raul. He had 71 goals and 142 appearances. The guy literally scored in every other Champions League game he was in. He had a 0.5 goal to game ratio. He was the top scorer in the competition 2 times. The most he scored was 10 goals. He's won it 3 times, so he's no slouch himself. But the reason I put him above Benzema is because his record stood for such a long time.
I understand
most
that
goals
too.
in the Champions League.
But you got to also understand with Benzema, I mean, he was teammates with Cristiano Ronaldo. Of course, you're only going to get top scorer once.
And it was after Ronaldo left.
Yeah, I know. It's like, you're already like starting way behind everybody else. Like, I feel bad for the guy.
My number 4 is Robert Lewandowski. What number was he on yours? He was your number 5. So, I mean, it's not too far off. 92 goals, 113 appearances. Out of our top 10, he does have the highest goal-to-game ratio at 0.81. So in over 3/4 of the games he's played in, he scores a goal.
Second best.
Yeah. Second best, sorry. And he's still one of the only 2 players on this, out of our 2 lists, that's still in it. Still playing. Could add to these goals.
True. That is true.
He's won it once, like you mentioned. The player I left off is the other player still currently playing, Thomas Muller. I don't rate him very highly.
I don't understand why you don't rate him, man. Thomas Muller has been doing it for years. He's got more trophies.
I've seen him have some real shit seasons, man, and that leaves just a shit taste in my mouth, and so I can't.
He might have had some shit seasons, but his Champions League has never been shit.
It's never been shit, but he has less goals than Ruud van Nistelrooy, who you left off your list.
Yeah, but he at least creates goals and scores from outside the box. So
okay, when?
Not this season, obviously, because he barely plays, but still got it in it.
So yeah, I left him off my list. Our number 3, like you said, is Alfredo Di Stefano. 49 goals and 58 appearances.
Dude, it's insane. How does this guy win 5 Champions Leagues playing 58 games?
And he scored in all the finals he won.
Yeah. Like, he's got 51 goal contributions in 58 games. Most of those are goals, but still.
49 goals. Yeah. Wild, dude.
5 Champions Leagues. Are you serious? Holy crap.
This was way back in the day, but probably before they were called Champions League, and European Cups.
I looked it up. It was when Real Madrid won 5 in a row. So, that happens.
There you go. Number 2s are both of them were Lionel Messi. 129 goals, 163 appearances, 0.79 goal ratio.
39
assists.
He's won
it 4 times.
4 times, but he also, these are the records he holds, and don't worry, I have all of Cristiano Ronaldo's records as well. But Lionel Messi holds the most Champions League group stage goals at 80. The most round of 16 goals at 29, most goals for one club at 120, and most successive seasons scoring in the Champions League at 18 years.
Wow.
18 years.
So pretty much
That's
his
insane.
entire career at Barcelona and
Yeah.
PSG.
Yeah, pretty much.
But he was also the top scorer in the competition 4 times.
Yeah. I mean, let's just look at his year where he scored 91 goals.
There you go.
For everyone listening, you think Erling Haaland's had a great calendar year? He still has to score 46 goals to even come close, like equal that. 46 goals.
In less than 2 months.
In 2 months. That's insane.
But our number one man, it's obviously Mr. Champions League himself, Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah. And arguably, he should have had more than 5. I mean, let's be honest. Should have went with Manchester United
140
a
goals,
couple of
man.
times. 140
goals.
42 assists.
100.
So let's not cut him short. He also holds the record for most assists in the competition.
Most goals and assists. That's impressive.
And appearances. And goals in a single campaign. And goals in the knockout stages. And and final wins. And only player to score in 3 finals. Only player to score in 11 straight games. And he also holds the record for most best player awards in the competition. Mr. Champions League himself.
He has a goal ratio 0.77. Like you said, he's won it 5 times. Top scorer in the competition 7 times. Holds the record, 17 goals in 1 season in the Champions League.
Absolutely.
Ronaldo is the best player to grace the Champions League.
Yep. It's not even
amazing.
It's not even a competition.
No.
Like, I want to argue for Messi, but it's not. All his stats say otherwise. So
it's Ronaldo's.
It's Ronaldo's
Champions League is Ronaldo's competition. Yep. Well, we hope you guys enjoyed this episode reviewing the Champions League. Some big upsets. Barcelona lost to Shakhtar. Copenhagen beat United. We went over our top 10 goal scorers in the Champions League and ranked them how they should be ranked, according to us.
One of us.
One of us.
One of us.
Let us know what you guys think of our ratings. Give us your own. Let us know on our Facebook group, Instagram. Don't forget to check out the YouTube, like, subscribe. Of course, help support the channel, getting the merch at Redbubble. And on that note, we love you guys. Thank you so much. As always, cheers.
Cheers.